That's right, free help for people on Medicare. So if you're in the Dothan area and you're in the need of Medicare, give them a call. They'll set up a time to go over the information with you and help you make the decisions that are best for you. You won't regret it.
Coach Ricky Davey, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Pleasure.
Yeah, man. Let's just talk about the obvious. I think a lot of people are interested to know your thoughts and feelings and the answer to this question. I think a lot of people assume they know how you feel and the answer to this question, but what's your favorite color?
Red.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It's because you're English.
Correct.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, really, like, how do you feel about last night? How do you feel about the first round of playoffs for your first year?
Yeah. No, listen, still raw, still bitter. Many things I think we could talk about, but I thought we played so well. And I think that's why I'm so disappointed as coach. I think we've played worse and won lots of games this year. I think it was a real well-rounded performance apart from one moment, really. I know they had other moments. Yago made a couple saves, but for the most part, 2 disallowed goals, a penalty shout, some other things. And, if there is a soccer god, I don't think he was looking down on us with heart eyes last night. So, yeah, really, really disappointed. I think we have more in us, but it is what it is.
Couple disallowed goals, a couple penalties that should have gone our way. I mean, I'm just up in the box and I'm watching. Just like, this is so weird. So physical.
Yeah.
Such a physical game. And I remember talking to Harvey on the podcast, and he's like, hey, they got some Brazilian players. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but apparently it means that they're rugby players and they're definitely physical.
Yeah. So, I joked with Connor last night. I said, who would think that the 3 English coaches and the Scottish guy would be outplaying the Brazilian staff and players? But no, listen, it's credit to Brave, by the way. They got it done and they move on to the final here against Fort Lauderdale tomorrow. But real physical game, and I think it's playoff soccer's like that. I think sometimes the referee. Yeah, it's hard. Do you yellow card someone early to set the tone, or do you let it be a little physical? But I think there's a moment you have to rein it in. I'm not really sure that happened. And for both teams, listen, we're just as bad as them at times too. So it's one of those, and I think I loved it. Honestly, it sounds weird to say because we lost the game, but. The atmosphere, the physicality, 2 really good teams just going at it. And I was proud of our guys last night. They didn't stop fighting until the last minute. Yeah. Played really good soccer, did everything we asked of them. We just didn't have that moment that...
No. We had 2 moments.
Yeah, I know.
We had moments. They just got taken back from us.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can say this because I'm not going to get fined.
It's true.
We got robbed.
Yeah.
Full stop. I mean, it was one of those things, and I know very often your team loses, right? That's just a part of sports.
Of course.
You might be the coach, you might be a player, or you might just be a fan, right? Your team loses, and then very often it's the ref's fault. In this set of circumstances, however, I would say we got robbed.
Yeah,
100%, full stop. I will say that to anybody and everybody who asks.
Yeah.
Because some of those calls were just like, I'm shocked. Now, granted, I don't know soccer like you and Mike and Connor and Tommy and a lot of other people. I remember going to you guys during the first match between Fort Lauderdale and Swarm, and I was like, wait a minute, why'd the ref blow the whistle and call it back? And Mike explained. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I learned that by watching some videos to learn more about soccer, and I just totally slipped my mind. But I mean, still.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Deep in here, I'm with you. But, listen, it's really hard to take. I think we deserve more than what we got. And candidly, between me and you, I think that's why they brought in VAR at a certain level.
Right.
And we don't have it, and it is what it is. That's the level of soccer that you're at. But you can see why they have brought it in. You could potentially be 2-1 based on that alone. But the one for me that stands out, and again, I hate talking about officials, but I think it's a blatant penalty on Sean Keane. And I said to my staff as well, I said, that's the one for me that I really don't understand. I get an offside here or there, it's semi-professional officiating. That happens, but for Sean to go up, win that header, be clattered by the goalkeeper, anywhere else on the field, that's a foul. And I think it's a big moment for the official, and often you see in those moments, you get no calls because they don't want to turn the tide of the game so late. But I think we earned that moment, that call, but yeah, it just didn't come. So
I saw that play. Lots of tension. I mean, it was like just so suspenseful in those last moments of the game. I mean, we were crowding the box when Yago came out and was like, I'm going to abandon the goal. And, I'm going to be another body down here. I was like, oh, this dude knows,
it's crunch time.
Yeah. You just sacrifice the goal to put another head down there. And, he's like 6 feet, 1,000,000 inches. And, he's a big body down there, and it's just, he's going to make a big impact. And so, from that moment on, the tension is high.
Yeah.
I remember driving Sean to the gym one day because he wanted a ride. And so anyway, as a Sos fan, I was like, man, I got you.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, I forget who we played, but I was like, man, these guys were just flopping like fish. It was wild. Almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like if we had guys that were flopping, I would not hold my tongue. And I remember, I'll never forget it. He was like, I hate floppers. I hate people who flop. You don't play soccer that way.
Right.
And anyway, for him to go down in the penalty box, I was like, okay, he's either like, this is tactical, or he legitimately got hurt.
Yeah.
Sean is tall. He is skinny, but the boy is dense. Yeah. He is very hard to take down. So I'm like, okay, he's either hurt or he's trying. Either way you go, bravo. He's giving full effort.
100%.
We should have gotten the goal.
Yeah, I agree.
At the end of the day.
That's the one for me. I think you can argue the other ones to a certain extent, but that is the one that is black and white.
Right. And that second goal that was disallowed. Because the first one, man, I thought it was a goal. We got lights are going.
Great goal.
Lights are going. Pillars of fire are going up. I'm yelling goal. Crowd's going crazy. And then I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. I saw the flag quite early, so I didn't get too excited. But
yeah, and I was like, oh.
A really well-worked team goal.
It was great. It was fantastic. And then I'm like, okay, fans are going to give it to them. They're going to let them know that they're not happy with the call.
Right.
That second goal, though, I was like, oh, we're calling it, and he's not making any signals that there's a goal.
Yeah.
He's looking at the line. He's looking at that referee, and I'm just like, oh no. You got to keep going, dude. Lay it on thick, Rick. Just keep going. So this way, when he disallows this goal, the fans are going to let him know that they're disappointed and don't agree with that decision. And so, I think, it was just wow. This was fun to see it, man.
It was a crazy night.
I thought that there was a point during that second goal where I was like, okay, maybe the crowd will do something.
Edge him over, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. No, not this guy.
I was hoping too. That's another weird one too. I mean, I guess the interpretation that it's a non-soccer play and it's hit the defender last and gone through to Oscar, but he's tried to tackle or he's been around it. It's a deliberate soccer play for me, so it should be a goal, but again,
the interesting part.
The more I talk about that and him, I get wound up.
Yeah. Listen, man, this is kind of like a therapy session for me.
For me too.
Let's just play it. Yeah, I mean, when we set this up, I thought I was like, oh yeah, great win last night, Coach. What are we doing for Saturday? Yeah. How am I going to keep Coach on track to get to know him more and not to promote the second game? But now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's football, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, two teams go in, one team comes out a winner.
Credit to them.
But yeah, credit to them. Whatever. I'm definitely bitter about it, but at the end of the day, it's just soccer. No one died.
Correct.
You know, I was telling the boys, and I think that's the biggest thing for me is that the heartbreak on the players.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, the heartbreak for you guys.
For sure.
You know, it's just like these guys played hard.
Yeah,
and
they work so hard.
Yeah,
like they give everything every single day.
Right.
I sent a message out to them today because I wasn't ready to do it last night. But you as a staff, you prepare for games, training. You do all the preparation, watching them, and we were spot on with the video. Connor, Tommy, Mike did an amazing job. We prepared well, we trained well. They've given everything in terms of physical, mental. They've played well, and you come up short. It's that bitter feeling of a long time ago. I was in a huddle. We had lost. I was the assistant at Georgia State. We had lost to UNC Charlotte on penalties.
Okay.
And Brett, the head coach, in the huddle after the game, you got guys crying, they're giving everything. And he said something that will stay with me forever. When you give everything that you have, mentally, physically, you prepare for it the best you can. It hurts a little bit more.
Right.
And those emotions do come out. But yeah, I mean, as a coach, listen, we can talk about X's and O's, but that's what I want my team to look like. And I want them to feel it like they did last night. Like I think it showed you how much they care about playing for this city, and even guys that were not here last year that are new to it this year. And it's a unique bond between city and team, and special. I think you don't see it elsewhere. And you've got grown women and men crying in the stands. It's funny, but I told my wife this. Like it's like real soccer, but you just don't see it in USL2 markets very often. So I'm an Arsenal fan, so we lose the Champions League final, I'm crying.
Yeah.
But here you just don't see that. So when you see it here, it's a little like it takes you back a little bit, and you're like, okay, like wow, like this means a lot to people, and that, like as a player, as a coach, as a fan, it means a lot. But in the moments where it doesn't go your way, or even when we did win the championship last week, when it does go your way, there's that euphoria or that bitter taste of defeat. It's really hard to take, and I think this club is in a fantastic place and will only go forward.
Yeah, the fans definitely do put the organization on their shoulders. They definitely do lift them up.
100%. Yeah, and here, anywhere else, the club without players and fans, it's nothing.
Right.
You've got great owners, coaches, whatever, but without the players that play the game and the fans that lift them up and help them through moments of triumph and loss, that's football, and that's the root of it. That's why we do it. It's the feelings. Personally, that's why I do it. Even last night, to feel how I felt, I didn't enjoy it, but I felt something. I felt a lot of things, but and again, to the week before, you feel a lot of things then. It's just a feeling that soccer brings to you, I think is fun and unique, and the ultimate highs, the ultimate lows. I think that's why we all do it. But such a unique place. I've loved my time this summer. It's been incredible just to for me to feel it. You hear about it, you talk to people about it, you see videos about it, social media, but when you're here, you meet the people, you meet the person, behind everything. So many people help. Support the club, and just a real unique place. I think anyone that comes to experience it, I think only has good things to say about it.
So and let's talk about that then. What was your mindset? What were you expecting? Like, what did you think it was going to be like? What did you anticipate before the season? Because like you and I, we met for the first time at the Cellar when we announced to a lot of the sponsors and some big community members. And I just remember looking at you and I'm like, okay, this guy's got to be an introvert. And he is so uncomfortable right now with all of the attention that he's getting. Yeah. I was just thinking like, how's it going to be for him on game day? How's he going to handle all of the media and the attention, not even just like from WDHN and Digio Strategies and WTVY. It's going to be, how is he going to handle all the social media stuff that the organization does? So anyway, what were you anticipating after that lunch at the Cellar?
No, I think It was. It took me back for sure. I've done MPSL before, which is obviously the mirroring organization of USL2. And at a smaller club where it really didn't mean that much outside of soccer. And I feel instantly, you feel like it means a lot to people. And like you said, I probably am a little introverted. And I think when you see people just coming to pretty much meet you at that point, and fill a room. And that was before the press conference too, so which followed, there was even more people there. So, you get a feeling of how much it means to people from not only a soccer standpoint, but from a business standpoint, from a organizational standpoint, so many people behind the club, so you meet a different kind of people at the luncheon. And then you kind of meet fans and families at the press conference, and between those two things, probably 300 people, 250 people around those two things, just to meet me. And I just love football. I'm X's and O's. I love the game of football, and the rest of it does not come naturally to me. I love the game planning. I love training. I love working with the players, trying to make them better. But the rest doesn't come easy. So, I was expecting probably what I got, but I think I learned to enjoy it, be a little bit more at peace with it come the end of it, and probably just naturally you get a little bit more just used to it. It becomes normal, not in a way that you don't appreciate it, but you're just around it a little bit more. But incredible place, and I think I've mentioned it tons to people. I don't think there are many organizations run this well in USL2 across the country.
Right. Yeah, we definitely are fortunate to have, Donner, McCray, Schmitz at the helm, really, helping navigate. But then also it's like we have such a great amount of volunteers, right?
Yeah.
Like Kelly Pilot.
Yeah, incredible.
Team Mom.
Incredible.
We have fantastic sponsors and huge fans like, Neil Guest from Coca-Cola United and his wife Dusty.
Yeah.
We have the McGee's, they're team liaisons, and I'm like, they're just fans. They started off season 1 as just VIP season ticket holding fans. And then they're like, how do we get more involved? How do we help this be more successful?
Yeah. It's infectious, right? I think you're around it and you love it, you enjoy it. And, from a soccer perspective, it's similar to the players too. We have numerous players like, maybe he'll listen, maybe he won't, but like Tito, for example, is an unbelievable soccer player.
Yeah.
But for injury reasons, performance reasons, kind of was in and out of the team a lot, and probably didn't enjoy it at times. We had conversations at times, but I think the fans loved him. He loved it here. So like there wasn't any chance of him leaving. He felt at home.
Right.
And similar to support staff and volunteers that are around it, I think everybody makes you feel like you are this huge piece of how this puzzle works.
Right.
And it's an incredible feeling for everybody. But the support staff, even Anna that does player meals and things like this, just incredibly well organized. Everything's really well run. I think whatever these players do, if they come back, if they go somewhere else, I think they'll find it hard to be anywhere like this.
Right. Yeah, I think, someone that we haven't mentioned that definitely deserves the credit is Mackie.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Mackie does a ton.
Yeah.
I'm up in the press box and something goes wrong. He can be across, he can be 180 degrees away from us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mackie, we have a technical issue, send help. And he's just like dropping what he's doing and running across the field and getting up here. And he not only has to run across the field, but he also has to climb a million stairs to get to us. And then at that point, he's just like, all right, let's figure this out. And he just does it.
Yeah.
And, so him, Jackson, I mean, another guy, Josh, it's very often where I'm on, in the PA box and I'm on the walkie and I'm just like, hey, we need such and such. I need, the starting 11 for the opposing team, please.
Yeah.
And, they're like, got it, and get it to me within minutes, right? And it's not even like to nag. It's just like, hey, I know you guys are doing a million things. I just need to remind you. And not once have they ever said anything to my face, at least, as to how much of a bother I am.
Right.
But it's just, I think it's all coming together as like we're just trying to help put together a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure that everybody's entertained.
Everyone works together and gets it done. I think that's it's probably I won't say it's what we are as a team, but I think it's similar to that. I don't think we had many egos this year. Listen, as a soccer player, you've always got some sort of confidence or ego, but I was most proud of how we worked together on the field, and similar to Offutt, such a well-run organization, like you said, that people will do something that is not their job just to kind of help out and get another person's job done. And I think I see it from the perspective of there's never really any issues on a game day that I have to worry about. You know, we worry about soccer and that's it. Everything else, is going to be taken care of. So, as the coach, you're always worried about everything. But for the most part, it's real easy to just coach and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at other volunteers, right? Like with the live stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul Fripp, David Peacock.
Yeah, they love it.
Oh my gosh, they love it.
Yeah.
And then it's not even just that. Like David Peacock does so much research on our guys, so much research on the opposing team and their players. So he has wonderful color commentary during the live stream. And like
David will text me most mornings for a little snippet of information, or especially in the build up to this one. What do you think of Brave? This number, what are you going to do? I was like, I can't tell you everything, but here's a few things.
Yeah, I've had those kinds of conversations with him too, and I'm just he's like, I talked to Coach earlier, and he divulges information. I'm just like, you have it like that? Like you're just gonna leave the guy alone?
He's the inside guy.
I don't know, but
guy.
it's all coming from a good place, and he's trying to have a better product for the organization.
Yeah, no secrets from us.
But the other thing too is that like Juan Shapiro from the Circle City Inferno also works at Covenant United Methodist Church, which is a fairly large church here in town, and he does like their media stuff there. He brought in a lot of equipment from the church and just let the organization borrow it to have a better live stream experience.
Yeah, big time.
Even during the off season, Fripp, Peacock, Juan Shapiro, I got involved a little bit in it, but not too much. It was all like, how do we figure out to have a better live stream experience? And then boom, here it is. So it's like you've got a ton of volunteers who are helping to try to make it a good organization, to try to help with the recruitment process, because we have this great product here and these volunteers who are helping out.
Yeah.
What are some of the I don't want to say the biggest learning curves, but like what were some of the biggest surprises for you throughout this season? Even if it's just like Dothan as a whole, like so many Walmarts, you don't know how to use roundabouts.
Two new Aldis.
That's a surprise.
That was big. No, I'd never been here before.
Okay.
I've spent time. I graduated from Montevallo. My wife is from like the Pelham, Chelsea area, but we've just never been this far south, I guess, in the state, and didn't really know what to expect in terms of where we were coming. And obviously you look on the internet, you Google everything, and you look at maps, but a cool place, not a small place. You have everything here that you could possibly need, and we joke all the time, even between the staff, that everything seems to be 10 minutes away. And when I Googled this place this morning, 10 minutes exactly. But no, just a really cool place, and I think that the people are incredible. And even outside the club, you walk up. I'll go for a Starbucks some mornings on my way to the office, and I'll coach great stuff last night, or hey, if you've had a bad one, they're ready to pick you up, and just a real welcoming place. Everybody knows who you are. They go out their way to help you, and I think that's probably the biggest thing is we have felt, and I'm just talking for my family, I'm sure the staff too, we felt so welcome. My wife, my son, and it helps you, just for me as a coach, just helps you focus on the job. You're not having to worry about, are they okay, because there's 100 people trying to help them. And if they need anything, they can go ask any one of these people and they'll be at the door straight away.
So either you and Mariana rehearse this answer, or you genuinely feel this way, and I think it's B. Because the first thing that Mariana told me last night after the match was, this place is amazing. She said that she had mentioned that there are so many supportive people here that she felt totally welcome so comfortable, well taken care of.
Yeah.
And so she spoke nothing but good things about the community and the supporters. And when we say supporters, we mean fans.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, good example, and she won't mind me saying this. We were away at Birmingham Legion, and Alec Langin's parents were in the crowd, and his mom was talking to Mariana, and they were talking about things to do for the kids and stuff like this, and just a conversation. And the next day we trained, we won the game, we trained the next morning, and Alec brings me an envelope. And he's like, "This is from my mom." And I had talking to Marianne about that conversation, but nothing in depth. So I take it to her. She opens it up. It's an A4 piece of paper, handwritten, with a list of things to do, and not easy for me to write a list. Hey, go to Waterworld, go to Adventureland. But these were like things like remote things that would have taken her some time. And the nicest part at the bottom was a little note being like, "I enjoyed doing this so much," because it brought back those memories with Alec. And you're just like, it's those little things. I think you can, like I said, I can send you the address to Adventureland and everyone can have fun.
Right.
But like that place where it came from, and that process for her to write that for my wife, who she doesn't really know.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a rehearsed answer. It is how we really feel.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes I feel a little uncomfortable with like being so sentimental that I need to make a joke about it in order to break the ice. But yeah, I mean, I think that talks a little bit more to the quality of a family that the Pelagians
For sure. Amazing people.
Yeah,
Amazing
fantastic. It's but you also run into a lot of other families like that where I think there's like so many transplants here.
Yeah.
Like we're a transplant. I'm from Southern California. My wife grew up in a small town 90 miles away from here. And so we know too that like you can't just Google everything, especially when we moved here 14, 15 years ago. Not everything was on Google, and there's a lot of things to do here. You just have to be a part of the community to learn about it. And so
I think the cool thing is, I know some of these players that have come back have too, is you take a little piece of that away with you. And there are so many good people here that it is infectious, whether you talk about the club and the support and everything around it, but even those little things, a bit like that story I just told will stay with me forever. And then if someone needs my help, maybe I'll write the letter and not just send the address. It means a little bit more to people. And I think that's the thing for me, is people will go out their way here to really, really help you. Instead of just helping you, which is great, but like they'll dig a little deeper, and it means a little more.
Yeah, I think it's all just a part of to help you feel more welcome, because you're an outsider coming in, and it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah. But sometimes you get the opposite. Sometimes you do get the opposite.
That's there too, and we experienced it. But I also think too that's it's kind of par for the course, because how many people come through here from Fort Rucker and then they're part of the community, or they're part of a friend group, and then they're like, all right, we got to go. Yeah. We're being stationed somewhere else, or we're done with training. Yeah. Personally, we had some friends who were transplants. He was a pastor, and then we developed a great family friendship with them. We're like, we can all hang out with each other. There were no problems. Everybody got along, and they were quality people. And then they invite us over to dinner, which is not uncommon. And then he hits us with, hey, by the way, guys, I enlisted into the Air Force and I'm leaving in 6 months. And I was so mad. Yeah. I was so angry. And my wife is asking why. And I was like, because I don't want to have these sad feelings of missing these people. Yeah. And, and so I understood the locals more when they're a little bit more reserved and not as welcoming to the transplants, man, because, you anticipate that they're going to leave. So. Right. But no, I think you're right. I think you're spot on. I think it's genuine that there's just a lot of well-to-do people here that want to make you feel comfortable and want you to have a great time here and feel welcome and feel appreciated. And so I'm not surprised. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been a part of like a game day experience in your career that's similar to what you have at the Dragons matches?
Not as a coach. As a player, I've been around some good crowds and great people and organizations, but yeah, never as a coach. I think the bad of it is that the players can hardly hear your instructions because the fans are drowning them out. But it's amazing for the players, and the fun thing is, and listen, I'm a pretty reflective person, and I can do it pretty quickly. I'm not too high, I'm not too low. I understand what my job is. It's to win games of football. We didn't do that yesterday, but even yesterday, even though it's you mentioned it, high tension, the emotions are boiling over a little bit.
Right.
It's incredible. Like I love being in that environment, where it just means, when you play a game in front of no people on a field somewhere,
right.
You do it because you love it.
Yeah.
But when you're in that environment, it means so much to thousands of people. And that adrenaline rush of it not being on you, but you're leading this group of young men onto the field to entertain, to win, to represent something bigger than you. It's an unbelievable feeling, and it's a huge piece of the recruitment tool now. It's I actually had this chat with Oscar Kufman yesterday. He mentioned how he pretty much would never go anywhere else now. And he's played for Ocean City, he's played for a couple of different teams, but what he's experienced here soccer-wise, he never thought he would expect.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? What do you mean by that?
I think just when I chatted with him in probably late November, December, early January to try and get that one done, it was like, listen, you're going to play in front of thousands of fans, you're going to be taken care of, you're going to be playing in big games, trying to win league titles and trying to win national titles. And, you say these things, but until you experience those, and I think for him, to expect that maybe he was a little bit, is Ricky talking rubbish just to get me here? There's always that piece of it, right? Because some people do. Right. But I think he heard what I said. I think he came here, he experienced exactly what I told him was going to happen. And now it's like, it's addictive, right? It's almost like a drug in its own way that you want to do that all the time. And, he plays at the University of Portland, which is a powerhouse of a men's soccer program, but he'll feel nothing like he felt this summer at Portland.
Really?
Yeah, just from a support standpoint.
How many fans are going to be in the stands on average over in Portland?
They may get 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, which is great for for
that's
college.
Phenomenal for a college.
Yeah.
And shout out to Griffin Benson because he does a fantastic work on our social media for the Dragons, and again, another volunteer.
Yeah.
But we have that online brochure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay. Is Ricky just talking fluff to bring me on? Or, I guess I'll just go check out the Instagram page, right? And it's like, no, there really are a lot of those fans.
And I think you're getting to a point now, it's the end of year 3, unfortunately, but you get into a point now where you've had, 3 cycles of players that have all had a really good experience,
Right.
And, Oscar actually asked me last night, which, candidly, he said, why did you not go after, bigger profile of players, guys that play in the ACC, at Clemson? And I said, one, I don't, for me to have guys that don't have big egos is huge. Like, I think it's easier to create buy-in. It's easier for you to coach them. They're not so stuck in their ways. But also, it's one of those things where now Oscar can go back to Portland, for example, tell his coach about it. Or, a Sean Keane who's going to Hofstra now can go to Hofstra, tell anybody at Hofstra about this, and you got, Ryan at Lindenwood and all these guys that go back to their homes now can just spread the word.
Yeah.
And now your pool opens up a lot more. I'm not saying you couldn't do that before, but the more years go on with success, the greater opportunity is to get more and more players. So it's exciting times, I think, and albeit disappointed we sit here with this thing, if I take myself out of it and look down somewhat, the ability to just continue to have success, I think, is really important. Just in terms of building a quality organization on the field. You have year 1 where everything's up in the air. You have an unbelievable year last year. You make it to the final four. You win the region. Right. You come back this year. You lose 2 games all year. You're in the playoffs again. You win your first league title. So for 3 years of a club, it's pretty special. And I think that's, like I said, I reflect pretty quickly. I like to. I think it's important for me to, in my own mind, to move on quickly. There's no point in me wallowing in it. It is what it is. But, I'm proud of the players, everybody for what they've done this year. And I'll never forget that night in my entire life. And also, I'll never forget last night. But it's those things that you enjoy. And then the latter is what drives you to do a little bit more.
I want to forget last night.
You will.
So bad.
Well, I don't think you will, actually.
I did not anticipate that I was going to feel this way. But again, just the heartbreak. And like, I'm literally seeing grown men crying.
100%. 100%.
And I'm like talking to the, Sandy Hodges, right? She's out on the pitch, and I'm just like, can I just get a hug? Like, I just need to feel a little better right now, because I talked to Sean Keane, I talked to Yago, I talked to Julian. I was like, hey man, congratulations on man of the match. And he was like, he said he was very friendly, very respectful, but you could also tell too, he's like, I don't want this. This means nothing right now.
You don't want that one. No, he was very good.
Yeah, and then I see Josh Hallenberger, and at the end I was just like, oh, thank God I get to see Sandy, because she's going to give me a grandmother hug, and I'm going to feel a little better about this. But you feel bad I felt bad for the players.
Yeah, I think they deserve more, and played well, gave everything, and we came up short. But no, this may sound strange, but it's nice to see that it means so much, and that it hurts so much, because I think it's something that we've tried to create. I think it's something the club creates, and you'd be questioning yourself as coach or an organization if everyone was just to walk off and leave without showing that emotion. So, one, I'm glad they're able to show it. One, I'm glad that they feel it, because it is disappointing. I don't want to be done right now.
Yeah.
But that's football. But amazing group of players. Incredible and amazing to work with them this summer, and hopefully a lot of them will be back, and hopefully we can run it back. But you could see it on faces last night. Even Yago walked up to me crying, almost made me cry. But and he's a big character. Sometimes fun to handle, sometimes not fun to handle. But that's football. But you never question with him that it means so much.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why he is how he is, because it does mean a lot. But again, nice to see that it just means so much, because that's what you want to create.
Yeah, I mean, the first year with Yago, that last game, we didn't make the playoffs, but it was, so that game was inconsequential, and they still give it their all. Unfortunately, I don't remember if we won or tied. I think we won. Maybe we tied. Anyway, long story short, Yago literally had a line of kids following him around for 30 minutes after the game, getting autographs, and I remember asking him, I was like, dude, why are you barefoot? And he's like, these kids took Rick, kids took my shin guards. I don't know where my gloves are. They took my cleats. And I'm like, are you serious, dude? Like, do we need to, do you want to disband these kids? He's like, no. And he's talking in his Brazilian accent. And he's like, no, I love the kids, but I'm trying to walk away so more don't come. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man.
More of his stuff.
Yeah, man. We're 45 minutes out, and they're still there. And, so it's just such a great memory. I was thinking about it today, and it's like year one, every single year, we've won something in our first 3 years. Year one, we won the hearts of the community.
Yeah.
That's our biggest trophy.
For sure.
In my opinion. Year two, we won the Southern Conference title. That's a big deal.
Big deal.
Year three, we won the South Central Division. That's a huge deal, because there are so many clubs that don't win a division title.
Sure.
And the fact that we're able to do those three things in the first 3 years has been wild.
Yeah.
Well,
you look at when we did make the playoffs, and I think a couple of teams made it a few days before or whatnot, but they released a graphic. It tells you how many seasons and then how many playoff appearances.
Yes.
And you see certain clubs that 15 seasons, 2 playoff appearances.
Right.
And it's one of those where it gives you that sense of satisfaction that you're there and you're there quickly. but it also gives you the opposite of like, this is really hard to do.
Yes.
And candidly here chatting with you and just having a conversation, that's sometimes been my hardest thing, is because I think the expectation is to win all the time.
Yeah.
Which, that's my expectation too. I think the understanding of how much it takes to win is probably not there. But yeah, like the ones that you lose or you tie, the players still give everything. You prepare the same way. You do everything the same. It's just a game. It's not one of these games that is stop-start. I can't take a timeout. I try to fix things on the fly at times, but we can make our changes at halftime and do some different things tactically and change some players. But it's one of those games where, similar to last night, one moment you can lose the game, and I think that's been a battle of mine. You asked me some things that I didn't expect, was to probably have this internal battle of like managing the expectation of myself and everybody else to win the games, but also be okay in myself knowing that we've done everything, but other people may not understand what everything is from a soccer perspective.
Right.
So that's been difficult.
I think it's managing the expectations is definitely difficult.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm sure with you and like having such a supportive team behind you with the organization and with the fans, that like, of course you want to win.
Yeah, 100%.
We want to win in the first 10 minutes.
For sure.
Like we just want to just be
pull teams out,
pounding. And then eventually like we want the score to get too out of control. So it's like a catch-22.
100%. And everyone's good. Like that's the thing too, like you may win a game 4-0, but like you've just taken your chances, or you may win 1-0, and you've had 35 chances, you just haven't scored.
Right.
It's just, it's hard to win games of football. And, that's why I'm proud of that. We were the best team over the course of a 12-game season, and that's for me and probably many football people. If you can win your league, again, disappointed with last night, but it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. That's done over the duration of a few months, which is nice.
And to your point too, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't know because we're so used to professional sports and college sports where professional level team doesn't change. Maybe 10% of the players go in and out. College, you probably have 20, now with the transfer portals, it's probably 50% now.
Yeah.
But almost 100%, if not 80%, of our team changes every single year. From year 1 to year 2, we had maybe 4 out of 24 players come back. And it's not that, it's just one of those things where the roster is always changing. Every organization is going to be different. The fortunate part for us is that we get some studs one year that aren't putting a lot of minutes, or they're not getting a lot of minutes, but then all of a sudden the next year they're starting because they've developed and they want to come back because of the fans and the organization. And so, to your point, you did this in a matter of a couple months.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Going up against a bunch of teams that you had to learn days before the match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's this is a big deal.
Yeah. I'm proud of it. I know staff are that, Connor, Tommy, Mike do an incredible job. And without them, we wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been able to do it and probably not stayed sane and laughed and cried and, did all these things without them.
Man, tell me about that, because before we started recording, I ended up telling you, like, hey, you need to stop. We got to talk about this. What'd you do last night?
Yeah, honestly, the game ended. I didn't go anywhere near the melee that was going on with the referee.
Yeah, I noticed. I had to track you down. You were away from everybody last night.
Yeah, I like talking. I like seeing my son. That's something since he's been born that I can. It allows me to focus on something different. Take me away from the emotion a little bit, calm me down. See my wife, and I just don't. It probably goes back to the introvert somewhat. Is I don't want win or lose. I don't want to be be alone with people that I'm comfortable with. And then it dissipates, and I didn't want to talk to the boys for a long time either because I didn't know what to say. It's one of those where what do you say in a moment like that? And what I wanted to say is, and what I did eventually say was that I was so proud of them. It's the best we've played in 6 or 7 games. but it means nothing because we've lost the game. But we talked about the things that they have given in terms of the physicality, the performance, the blood, the sweat, the tears. It's all I could ask on that particular night. So yeah, once I'd been done chatting with them, which was a long time after everyone had left, I dragged Connor, Tommy, and Mike. We cleaned up the locker room, cleaned up the office, just as a coping mechanism, I think, just to kind of do something and be around. I didn't want to go home. They eventually left, and yeah, it was just me. So just walked on the field and had a moment. Took it all in, and eventually went home around 2 a.m. But took a shower, went to sleep probably around 3 a.m. and moved on from it. But yeah, just didn't want it to be over, honestly.
What was going through your head when you were on your, by yourself on the field in the dark?
Everything, probably. Worked so hard. I think I had said to Connor, the irony is I think it was come Wednesday, I think it was week 12 for us in terms of our macro cycle, and 50 training sessions later, it's a lot of work. I think it was our 18th game maybe, and you mentioned in the space of a couple months, you're
Right.
constantly training, constantly preparing, you're constantly around these people more than your family, more than your kids, and it's done. I think that's the hard thing to take, is you work so hard and it's done. But yeah, I think it was just done. It goes from everything to nothing in, a click of a finger, and that was difficult to take.
So what's kind of the coping mechanism for you moving, like, we're going to wrap up this interview, and you what do you do from the studio over the next couple of days? I mean, we've got that thing Monday.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are hosting, you guys have a watch party for the World Cup final, which ruined our dinner plans with our host sons, you big jerk.
Sorry, boss.
No, that's fine. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Are you just hanging out with the family, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the Monday night will be nice to kind of wrap things up officially. The nature of the league is that some guys at different schools will have to go back immediately. They'll be pulled back from coaches. You'll have a quick hug and a bye and a thank you, and they'll be gone. It's just the nature of the beast. And there'll be some guys that are around Monday night that'll be nice to, have a chat with, send some awards home with some people, and really wrap it up nicely. But for me, it's I love football, so I just took a new job actually yesterday.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I took the head men's soccer coaching position at Campbell University in North Carolina.
Which I just recently learned is in North Carolina.
Not New
I
York.
thought that was in New York City.
So it's funny. I'll be seeing Julie, and I'll be seeing a few of these guys in the fall with College of Charleston in the same league. So
okay.
yeah. So no, it's fine. But I'm straight to work. There's literally, my house is stressful right now. We're trying to sell our house and find somewhere to live in Raleigh, and get some players, sign some players late. With preseason starting in a couple of weeks, and my mum's expression is "there's no rest for the wicked." You just keep going. You take a moment. The weird thing is when you're in that constant planning for training sessions, planning for games, you're like a robot, and it's just and you're just in the zone, and it's just going, and then for it all to stop, like this morning you wake up and I don't have to go to the stadium today. It feels weird.
I still have to go to the stadium.
I'll be there. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm pulling for Florida United, man. I want them to beat the brakes off of the Brave.
It'll be a really interesting game, I think.
It depends on who's refereeing.
True, but Fort Lauderdale looked really good.
Oh my gosh, man, they were so good.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to David Peacock, he was telling me that a lot of those guys, they were supposed to go USL 1, but something happened, and we can't really confirm or did not, So we're just gonna leave it at that. But then apparently a lot of those players were just like, all right, I guess we'll just stay in USL 2 and play. And so
I'd be really surprised if they didn't go far. But listen, Brave beat us last night. Really good team.
No, they did.
They did. It was 1-0. They take it. We've got to take it. But who knows? When you get down to
Ricky, we got robbed.
When it gets down to 32 teams, everyone's good.
Yeah.
And anything can happen. So we'll see. But I'll be there. I'm excited to watch the game. And for me, it just doesn't stop. It's just a new team that I get to work with, which is what I enjoy doing. Just love being around the players, love being on the grass, and it's contagious. You don't want to give it up. So I'm glad it's not too long before I get to step on the green field again.
Which, by the way, I learned yesterday that your wife is 20 weeks pregnant with twins. Congratulations.
Twin boys, yeah.
She told, twin boys. Is it Jack and Harry?
Jack and Henry.
Jack and Henry.
Yeah,
okay.
close.
Very British.
Yeah. It took a minute to figure out some names, and we settled on Jack and Henry. So.
That's awesome, man. So they're going to be due, March?
No, earlier. Okay. Thanksgiving time.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time. So that's going to be awesome for you, man.
It's going to be crazy 6 months.
3 kids.
Yeah.
Under 7.
Yep.
And new job.
Yeah.
You definitely don't like doing things the easy way.
No, I feel like it's not fun doing things the easy way.
Yeah.
It's not challenging. It's enjoyable being in the trenches sometimes and digging yourself out. But no, it's exciting times for my family. We're excited. I feel like I've worked hard for the head coaching spot in Division 1, and it'll be my first head coach's job in Division 1, and really excited for it to lead a group and lead a program. It's probably the difference between colleges. You have some other expectations too, obviously academic and taking care of them socially and making sure everyone's okay. And I think the other part of maybe college athletics that has got away from us is that you're preparing them for life. It's not just soccer, and it's not just NIL money and these things. You're trying to teach lessons and values that will hopefully make them better husbands and better kind of workers and whatever they choose to do in their life. You're trying to build something that lasts longer than just 4 or 5 years.
Help me understand something, because I was introduced to this aspect because of Carl Reynolds being an associate head coach.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's what I just left at Mercer.
Right. So, what is it? What's the difference?
In a looser term, you are a glorified assistant that gets paid more money probably than the other assistant, but you lose certain responsibilities that you don't enjoy doing. Things such as travel, equipment. So for me personally, all I did was coach soccer and recruited players. So in terms of monitoring academics, ordering buses, food, these hotels, I had nothing to do with it. So, it kind of streamlined my role a little bit. And obviously when you get that title bump from a corporate standpoint, it just puts you on a different level money-wise.
Is that kind of a position of okay, you're no longer an assistant coach, but we can't put you in a head coach position, so here's your reward, so this way we can retain you?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't want you to leave, but we can't give you that title because this guy's here, or and it kind of, there's a lot of them now. I feel like 10 years ago maybe you only had a few, but there are so many good coaches around, so many good assistant coaches. It's a nice little resume builder. It probably shows that you're ready for that next step. Whenever the opportunity comes. But yeah, it's a good spot to be in because you can really focus on what you enjoy. And for me, that was always coaching, being on the grass and talking to players, recruiting players that fit kind of what you want to do.
How long was that hiring process for you with Camden?
3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So this just happened within the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah. So it happened fast.
Good night, man.
Yeah. So all that's been going on in the background of doing this and losing last night and lots of different things.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to some of the Circle City Inferno boys when Carl got promoted to Liberty.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no, he's gonna be gone." Blah blah blah, yada yada. And we did. At that point, it was like Carl's coming back. It's fine. But I told those guys, I was like, "Listen. Because of the community, because of the amount of fans that we have, because of you guys creating such a fantastic environment and us having such a wonderful organization, we really helped put Carl on a bigger platform of exposure."
100%. Myself too.
I didn't want to say it.
Well, probably the things that I don't enjoy doing are what the club does well. I'm not the kind of person that I'm going to post everything on social media. I'm not going to. I think I'm a really good coach. I've got a UEFA A license. I feel really good about it.
What is that? What does that mean?
It's one of the highest coaching licenses in the world. But, and you spend years trying to achieve it. But
how long does it take?
A year in total. Work, three trips to Europe. But you have to go from, you go from basically, and licensing is crazy in soccer, but you basically go from like an F license all the way to an A. The only one that is higher is a UEFA Pro license, but you have to be affiliated with a professional team.
So what level of license do you have?
UEFA A. So I'm right there.
Damn.
I actually have. I'm going to gloat for a second.
No, brag about yourself.
I've got the men's elite UEFA A, and then I have the youth A as well. So in terms of coaching kids from 6 to 18, and then 18 to whenever you want to be done playing soccer, I can do it all.
That's so cool.
But going back to stop gloating, the club does an amazing job of, they'll put pictures of me out there, they'll put pictures of the staff out there, the players out there, and that's something I'm not really comfortable doing. So in terms of elevating people's profiles, I think they do a really, really good job of it. And it certainly helped me. I'd be naive to say that they didn't help me.
I think it's one of those things where you're not gloating. It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it a fact? Yeah. Just as much as it is the fact that you're bald.
That's a fact.
It just kind of is what it is.
That is a fact.
So definitely, and I appreciate the humility and being humble, right? But no, it's, hey, this is what I got.
Yeah.
And because of the exposure, a part of it, you guys were able to help highlight my hard work and all of my time in and all of those prerequisites.
Well, the nice thing, to your point about the fans and the Inferno and everything around the club, the media, the players, regardless of players coming and going, coaches coming and going, to my point earlier on, where we've done so well in the first 3 years, you're always going to get good players, good coaches, good people around it, because you're building this thing that seems to be unstoppable. Like you are one of the best teams in USL2. You're going to continue to be that way as long as you just keep doing the same things.
Yeah.
So, you have to do some new things here and there to keep up with the Joneses. But, when Carl left, it was probably the end of the world.
For some people, yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's football, and they're thinking, who's this Ricky guy? And, if whatever happens, if after next year or the year after I'm not here, it's the end of the world, hopefully.
Yeah.
But someone else comes in and smashes it. It's not about, it's more than just coaches and players. You're always going to get coaches and players just because of where you're at.
Listen, you brought it up, and I didn't want to, but you brought it up. So, you're throughout this whole podcast, you've been talking a lot about how great your experience has been, and you've been talking a lot of future stuff, Are you coming back next year, or what are we doing?
Haven't had that conversation with anyone yet, so I think too soon. And ultimately, the three guys you mentioned earlier on will decide that, along with me and my family. But we've not. I think probably still raw, still bitter. I would like to think I've done a good enough job to be back. But we'll see.
I will definitely press you a little harder off air, just to not put you in an awkward position.
No, it's okay.
But no, I mean, it's, of course we want you back. Right.
Appreciate that.
It's at the end of the day, it's such a good place to be, right? As a player, as a coach, as an assistant coach,
100%.
And so I think that, of course, we want you back because, we still have some unfinished business.
For sure.
We're hungry. For sure. We definitely want a national title.
100%.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, we'll settle for a Southern Conference title.
Yeah.
It'll still be a great year.
Done everything else now.
Right. We'll settle for a South Central divisional title and to host the playoffs. That's fun.
You're in a good place if you're saying that.
Yeah, we're definitely in a good place, man. So, but no, of course we want you back. So this way you can keep building.
Yeah, I think continuity is good.
It was so interesting to me because I remember, there were late additions, Samuel and Mateus Da Silva, Ulrich, right?
Yeah.
I remember going up to them after a game, and it was Mateus specifically, and I was like, "Hey, man, congratulations on the South Central Division title, even though you got here yesterday." And not literally, but
he got his hat.
Yeah, and I was like, "Man, congratulations." Hey, I'm Rick. I'm your PA announcer. He was like, "No, I know. I've seen your social media," and I was like, oh,
so there's little clips of you.
I'm a part of the research that these guys are.
They're all saying it. They're all doing it.
And for me, it was. I think it was pretty cool because for me, I try to make a very, very fun and positive and engaging environment. but I did not anticipate that it was going to be a part of the recruiting process.
No,
that's like a byproduct.
I think it all is. I think it all is. I think we go to places, we play obviously away stadiums, and they're always mentioning how well you do it. We're excited to come play you at your place, and that's often what makes it difficult. Like, you get everyone's best no matter what. Like, and Swarm were amazing this year. Credit to them, they were very good. But at the same time, you just get everyone's best. Like, you get East Atlanta, for example, who they just give everything, or an Apotheos where like we don't take a few chances. It's 0-0 until the 60th minute. Like, another team plays them, and it's like, why aren't Dothan scoring?
Like, what happened?
Yeah, and it's just because they're so well organized, they're well coached, obviously.
Right.
But it's just there's that little extra percentage point that they give against us that they seem to not give against everyone else. But,
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I remember telling my family when we're coming up on SSA and we're looking at the playoff pictures and things like that, right? Like, what do we need to do in order to get to the playoffs?
Yeah.
And it's like, we're playing Swarm. We're going to beat the brakes off of these guys because they've been horrible the first 2 years. Yeah. And then we play them, and I'm like, oh no.
They're good. Yeah.
They're really good.
Well, again, nature of the league, right? You never know.
And not just that, right? To your point, you never know who's going to be coming on. The roster can flip, 180 degrees in a season. However, the organization that Dothan United is and the reputation that it has in USL2, it is going to make the South Central Conference one of the toughest divisions, or the South Central Division, one of the toughest divisions in USL2 in the very near future.
Yeah.
Because as a recruiting tool, it's going to be like, hey, we're going to play at Rip Hughes Stadium when we play Dothan Dragons at their house, and we're going to put you in front of 6,000 fans.
Yeah. Well, it also, from a soccer perspective, like, this is how I feel, is ownership and general managers and coaches should aspire to beat us.
Yeah, so we're definitely showing them, hey, it can be done.
Right. And if you want to be there, you have to do this, this, and this. And probably what SSA thought is like, okay, like, what are they doing? What do we have to do? And let's get after it. And to your point, if 3-4 more teams do that in the division, it just makes the division stronger, which is what you want. It prepares you for games like last night and meaningful games that you want to be in. But yeah, I thought SSA were fantastic this year. They were real thorn in our side. Just not a good stylistic matchup for us. Credit to them. But I'm sure they'll be back. I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah, they're a good organization. They had some really good players. Yeah. I agree with you. Even since season one, I heard in season one a lot that like, oh, people are bringing their best. I heard that from Carl. I heard that from Donner. And, for me being relatively new, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess maybe because they know we're going to have, 4,000 or 5,000 fans in the stands. Like, who is not going to treat that like their own championship game?
For sure.
Right. Who, as a professional, or someone who is slightly competitive, is not going to be like, I'm going to be the spoiler. I'm going to ruin it for these guys in their home field.
It's funny. Little things like that. There's been a couple instances this year. The first time we played Swarm, I think we put out a graphic on social media like we were going to...
swap the Swarm?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I look at my staff and I'm like, Jesus.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So then the opposite happened. So Birmingham Legion 2 away. And then like the first team are used in the training ground, but we can play at our first team stadium. And the first thing I said was no chance. I was like, we'll play on a high school field with no one watching.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was Tommy or Connor or Mike were like, oh, you don't want to play at the stadium? And I was like, no way.
Why?
I don't want to give them anything.
I
don't want to give them a little extra motivation. It was 3 o'clock. They wanted to play on a Wednesday afternoon in Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not giving these guys a sniff. So we'll play at 5 o'clock on some high school and down the road in Alabama, and we'll win the game. I don't want to give them any sort of like, we're playing in the stadium, we're playing against Dothan, we're going to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's selfish of me.
No, it's tactical.
Yeah.
You're the head coach. Who doesn't want to? You're a bad head coach.
We've got a better chance of beating them on a regular field with no one watching.
Well, if you don't want to put your team in the best advantage as possible, you're not a good coach.
But I was like, I'm not. Yeah, we're playing on this bad field over here, and we're going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're better than you.
Yeah. I mean, but again, the other thing too is like we have so many professionals that want to play the spoiler.
Yes.
And they want to show out in
Right.
front of all these people because they just want the exposure or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
Like as a competitor, if you've got a bigger crowd, of course you're going to give a better effort.
Absolutely.
Because I would much rather die tired
Correct.
than die with gas in the tank.
Absolutely.
And so, my goodness, man, this has been a great conversation. So let me ask you this. What have you, and I sent a message out to the Circle City boys. One of the questions that they came back with that I haven't asked yet is, what do you have from this year that you can apply to the future of this club?
I think two things that spring to mind straight away is personally, I've learned as I've gone through the league. So in terms of stylistic matchups, how clubs like to do things, East Atlanta play very differently to SSA, and if coaches stay the same, that'll stay the same. So in terms of the preparation for games and knowing what to expect, I think that's become greater as the season's gone on. And, from a personal reflection piece, team-wise, I thought we did a really good job of recruiting, but I still think we can do a little bit better in certain areas and be better. And just different, not so much talent, but certain different profiles of players and just guys that will give us something different. So I think that's been a reflection piece. I think the recruiting piece for us at the start was, we want to play this way. This is the way we want to do things as a staff, as a club, I guess, mainly my ideas, and that's what I wanted. So we went out and got those players. Some worked out, some didn't. And I think as the season went on, we did some different things that probably the players that we had couldn't do. So from a recruiting piece for myself and the club is to probably be a little bit more flexible and have some guys that maybe frustrate me at times with not being able to do certain things, but then, for example, when you open up space, are deadly. So, for example, and candidly, Ryan and Rodrigo are similar in terms of playing styles. Really good back to goal, good finishers, will run, but if you're playing against a high line, against a semi-athletic defensive line, they don't get behind. They're just going to struggle to get behind that back line into space, Right. So we did have that player in Dom, but, unfortunately for injury reasons did not, play a ton.
Man, I'm so disappointed with Dom.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Quality guy. Great guy.
Great guy, great player, and I think was recruited for that reason. But, just unfortunate. But just an example, can you have guys that are quality that have slightly different profiles positionally,
Right.
just to really help you, because every game gives you different kind of contexts. And I think there were games at the start of the year where we blew out teams because we had quality and because we were playing a certain way. And then
Right.
you see them the second time,
Yeah.
and they know what to expect a little bit more.
Yeah. You're a nightmare. I mean, this organization's a nightmare for the other teams in the division because you play us once and then you're up at night watching film and breaking it down because you don't want to lose to us twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if you're going to, then you gotta, hopefully shrink the goal differential.
Yeah, and teams definitely do. I mean, you see it. I think we probably at the start of the season, outside of Swarm, I think beat everybody pretty handedly. Columbus, close score, but national game of the week, a fun one.
Let's not talk about the game in Columbus.
No, please don't. I was raging, but the
And
second.
that's the same referee, right?
Yes.
For those of you listening, Ricky is nodding his head up and down. He's being very British right now.
A report was made as well that I thought we should have had 2 penalties in that game.
Right.
One in the first half, one in the second half. But anyway.
Which, I mean, this was, Father's Day weekend. It was my first game that I got to sit in the stands and enjoy as a fan.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no PA duties here. And I remember, my wife was like so insistent and so encouraging, like, no, we'll go to Columbus. This isn't a burden. Like, if you love it, this is a hobby, go for it. Anyway, it was so bad, the officiating. And, you know, I even went to AJ Palma, I forget how many days later, maybe a week after, and I was like, hey, man, was that guy really offsides? And he owned it. Yeah. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Sadly, he wasn't.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be.
We all did.
But I mean, yeah, that's just the nature of the beast,
play,
right?
yeah.
You make a mistake,
Yeah.
they capitalize on it. That's just the name of the game.
It's football, yeah.
So anyway, but continue.
No, I think just teams figured us out a little bit, and not so much figured us out, but they start to defend deeper. They take away certain spaces and they make it difficult, and you have to find different ways. So, you know, to my point, the recruiting piece, I thought we obviously did a good job. You know, we fell short, but we had an unbelievable group. But just some flexibility, I think, you know, to change some certain things structurally and do some different things. I think probably needed a few more different types of profile, but something to reflect upon.
Well, but also so many things went wrong that game. And I'm not talking about the actual match, right? Like a thunderstorm came through and
shut off half the lights.
Yes, exactly. A lightning bolt just said, no, not today.
Yeah.
And, you know, not destroyed, but shut off some lights and caused some electrical problems. And then the field was horrible.
Yeah, not great.
I remember Ty was there, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey man, like what went wrong?" And
Did he say everything?
No. Well, he was like, the officiating was one. But then he said, I was like, why is it that this field looks really in? He's like, well, they practice on this field a lot. Yeah. You can tell, and so the field conditions were bad.
Yeah.
It was also raining a lot.
Couldn't see the lines on the field.
Man, yeah, you can see the lines on the field. I would say easily 4 inches of rain just got dumped on over the course of like 2 or maybe 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's a big impact. But also their field is narrow.
Very narrow.
And
on the stylistic thing as well, like that suits them. So I get the home field advantage.
But you have to.
Yes. Yeah, no, they play that well, they played that way when they came here too. But
did they? Okay.
But you have to there because we had to do similar things too. I think I played 4 strikers that night. Just because the field's so narrow, it's like, okay, well, you're going to be inside anyway. There's no outside.
That's a good
There's
point.
no width. You know.
Yeah, and Ty broke it down. I was like, what do you mean? That's so foreign to me. I thought everything needed to be exact. And he said, no, everything needs to be in a range.
Yeah.
And they're on the thin side of that range. And I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's so wild.
And I'll credit, you know, to that point, I think for the most part, every time we went down, this group of guys just kept going. They kept going, and
absolutely.
You always had the quality, whether it was us changing it or them changing it on the field. They always gave everything, never stopped. Often got goals back or multiple goals back. You know, even like an East Atlanta here at home, where you go 1-0 down, you could go 2-0 down, and he hits the post.
Yeah.
But you know, they always gave everything, and that's what I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
That these guys never gave up, no matter what. Even last night, they were guys on their knees, could hardly run, could hardly do anything, but never stopped trying. And to that point, to reflect upon that too, that's something that I wanted, and what I heard from fans throughout was that's what they want to see, is that blue collar, never give up, that grit, that determination. So
well, that's the community.
Yeah, and so to you know, it's one thing to say it, but for the boys to show it last night, I think that was the hardest thing, is they gave everything. So I hope everybody's proud of them. Listen, it's a defeat. It happens. Did we deserve it? No.
Man, we got robbed.
Yeah, I know you're sticking with that line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, because I watch it. I don't know, watching it as a fan and watching it in the press box, right? Like, it's.
Yeah, you get that better angle.
I have a amazing angle, but just watching it and being so focused and like seeing the strategies, because I'm trying to make the goal calls, whatever the case, like it just, you know, it takes a little bit to kind of, anyway, to do the timing. Those guys hustled.
Oh, 100%.
They didn't give up.
Yeah.
They didn't quit.
No.
And, you know, I feel like that's the heartbreaking part.
For sure.
Is that they definitely gave the effort.
Yeah.
That I'll give it to Brave. They're good.
Yeah.
The
hard nosed,
man.
Yeah.
Well, those guys were doing things with their feet that I can't even do with my hands. You know, they were taking the ball easily, 10, 15, 20 yards. And then it was like, oh, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, poor Philip, he probably heard me say that like 50 times, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys, just, you know, knock them over, do something, kill the play. And, you know, some of the tactics that some of the skills that they had when it came to dribbling, I was just like, oh my gosh, these guys are really good. Something that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
But the boys never quit.
No, they didn't.
The boys were like, we can do this all day.
Yeah.
You know,
they had that belief.
You're against us. This ref is against us, but our fans are behind us. Yeah. We're going.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of guys who put it out on the field. You know, Josh Hallenberger. I mean, apparently,
Absolutely,
what a stud. But he was in the corner. And I remember talking to Juan Shapiro earlier today, and I was like, man, what happened? He was like, man, you got punched in the genitals.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. Yeah. Apparently, Tyler White has some video.
I've seen the video.
Okay. Yeah. And, you know, the other thing, I guess Tyler White has like all of the video evidence of, you know, all the things that went wrong. That's just a fantastic reporter in our side. But, you know, the fans were there. Yeah. They put it out on the line. And they just didn't stop.
Yeah. Like I said, it means a lot. And I think there's such a fun transactional relationship between players and community too. Mm-hmm. It's not this, you know, you could talk about the Premier League or whatever. The fans go to support the players go home. They're rich with money, cars, glamorous lifestyles. Right. There's this genuine transactional relationship of like, we're going to support you. We're going to come see you. There's this give and take. And, you know, I think when you have that investment both ways, player to fans, you know these people.
Right.
You know how much it means to them. You know their kids, their grandkids. You're signing stuff for them. You're having dinner with them. You know how much it means. And then vice versa. You know them as, you know, you're a host. You know these kids are away from home, maybe first time here, maybe second time here, but they're giving everything for this place. And it's really cool. The fact that the relationship is reciprocal, I think is unique and cool to see develop too. Because at the start, you know, I listened to Sean's podcast with you, and he talks about like everyone's coming up saying, oh, you know, we'll help you do this or anything you need, let us know. And you're kind of like, okay, you know, you're saying that now because you met me,
right?
But next couple of weeks, you know, that fades, you know, because that's what we're used to most of the time in terms of just being in Europe and being at home and most places, but. You know, like you see over a few weeks, and as you get into it, it's like, no, you see the same faces. They ask the same questions. Do you need anything? What can we do for you? So then, like that, that relationship grows. You know, to the point of, at some point, you hope you don't, but at some point you do lose a big one, unless you make it all the way, and that's for everybody in this whole league. You know, so when that moment does come. Again, you see the outpour of emotion from both sides of it because there's this true desire, hunger, belief, and natural relationship that's been formed that's genuine. I think it's really cool to see.
I think that this is definitely going to help in the recruitment process, this story. But this actually happened. I remember telling Sean, and we were having a conversation because I guess, I forget his name. I always want to call him Brittany Griner, but Dylan Griner. Yeah. There you go. Dylan leaves. He was the house for the car that they were in. And he's like, Rick, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm trying to, and, you know, how can you help me? And I was like, okay, let me figure this out. Right. And, you know, talking to Stephanie and, you know, Stephanie and I were having a conversation like, hey, how can we help Sean? And I was like, well, we have an extra car that we can let him borrow. And then, I was like, well, let me talk to my insurance guy. And my insurance guy was like, well, here's the reality. You're very nice. It's generous that you want to let him borrow the car. But if something were to happen,
the finance.
Here's the financial risk, you know, because it's like, okay, if he's borrowing our car and he gets in an accident, then we're 100% responsible, right? And so it's like, hey, sorry, Sean, like we just can't help you. Let me call. Man, I called probably 5 or 6 other businesses and business owners to see like, hey, can we rent a car? How cheap can we get it? This is a scenario that I have. And then ultimately I was like, look, Sean, I pulled all my strings and they all came up blank. So you hit me up. I'll get you to the gym and the grocery store whenever you need it. And we were having, in the midst of this whole, you know, Dylan leaving and trying to figure out the ride thing, we got on the topic of food. And he's like, hey, they're taking good care of us. We're eating, 2 meals a day. They're being catered in. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but when I eat out a lot, like, I don't care what it is. You still feel gross after a while. I was like, how are you feeling? Do you have food at the house? And he's like, well, they take good care of us and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm upset. He was like, why? I was like, well, because you're not, like, you should have reached out.
Right.
You should have reached out, and, we need to get you some more nutritious food. So instead of getting you gifts as a host family, like, we're just going to, every match, we're getting him a gift card to Walmart or a grocery store so he can have more nutritious food.
Right. That home cooked meal.
Right. Well, and it was even just like, hey, just take this and keep it at your house. You don't have to use it now. I don't know what your financial situation looks like. You might want to hold on to it until you go to Hofstra. And I mean, that's what we did with Ty too. Ty was taken care of because he's living at home here and his mom knows his diet and he's eating nutritious food and all that. But, with Sean, it was like, hey man, we really want to take good care of you, even down to the food that you eat.
Yeah.
Because we know that you're giving us the best effort. And we can give you good fuel. You'll play well, or at least you won't feel gross.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, man, like as a host family, we took that pretty serious.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what's one last thing that you want to tell the Dothan United supporters?
No, I think thank you. Probably cliche, but no, I really mean it. I think for me personally, just making us feel at home, me and my family's everything to me. And to have them feel loved and comfortable, and it allows me to give everything in terms of the soccer stuff. And just, they wouldn't not do this anyway, but just supporting this group of players. Like you said, it's not, every team is somewhat different every year. This team was different this year, but there was a lot of pressure and expectation on them after last year's success. And, fans didn't skip a beat in terms of supporting us, dragging us through some games. Where we were tired or whatnot, or needed that extra little push, they were always there to give it to us. And, to everyone that supports it, we talked about Kelly, Anna, Jackson, everybody around it, Mackie, yourself, Paul, David, Mike, Steve, Aaron. There's so many people around it. I've missed Ken, Kevin, all these guys that are around it that just this massive support system, and I'll always say this, the players are the most important thing. They are the most important thing to the club. The fans are a close second. You don't have fans in the stands, but fans don't come if there's not players. So the fact that we've been able to take care of so many of these guys, and even guys going in, coming out, coming in. Everyone has had a host family, has been fed, has been taken care of, and I think that's the most important takeaway. I think is if you always look after the players, you're always going to get good ones.
Ricky, thanks for coming on, man.
Pleasure, my man.